Well, this is a time of lockdowns, stay-at-home orders, social distancing, and it's bringing out the best in people and the worst.
Officers in riot gear showing up in predominantly black communities to enforce social distancing rules.
Yeah, we've seen a flood of videos showing officers making violent arrests while trying to enforce the rules, but is that all necessary? Joining us tonight to discuss is the president of the NAACP, Derrick Johnson. And we'll start you off with this, sir. Why are we seeing such a disproportionate enforcement of these rules in black communities, such as we saw in New York the other day?
But it's consistent with what has been taking place for a while now. Unfortunately, for some communities, law enforcement see the need to protect and serve. In other communities, they see a need for aggressive policing. And unfortunately, aggressive policing end up with many African Americans being wrongfully harmed by law enforcement in ways in which we should not anticipate.
Are you encouraging people to videotape these incidents? We know that making them go viral has brought more attention to the issue.
I think the videotaping of policing has created a level of accountability. We have always known in the African American community, particularly those who grew up in inner cities, that you have some law enforcement officers who were friendly, who came from the community that you communicate with, but you had other law enforcement officers who resorted into violence unnecessarily, particularly when they dealt with young kids and teenagers.
And even when, Mr. Johnson, when violence is not involved, there's that feeling that black people get if you walk into a store and you're masked, if you're walking down the street, you get that look, you just get that tension. That's palpable. How do we handle that? How do we address that?
You know, it's one of those questions that one of our founders said early on, W.B. Du Bois, race will be the question of the 21st century. We find in 2020, race is still the question. It's a social construct that many African Americans and Latinos are confronted with every day. And at some point, this nation was going to have to address the question of race so that all citizens can feel comfortable with being accepted and able to participate on all levels.
What exactly is the NAACP doing to try to deal with this issue?
Well, you know, we are an organization that's 111 years old. We've always fought for equal protection under the law to ensure that law enforcement officers, the court system, and society treat African Americans equally. It is a part of our mission. We have fought for that for years. Whether it is recently with the Stimulus Act to make sure African American business owners had access to it, whether or not in Detroit, as we look at a lawsuit that's addressing education and the right of a child to read as a part of a lawsuit that we've been a part of. You name it, the NAACP, we have been on the front lines of addressing inequality and how people are treated because of their race.
All right. Well, we thank you so much for joining us this evening. As always, a delight to have you.
Thank you.